Hi everyone, Kelly Bear here. Welcome to my channel. It's another top 10 video. It's another end of year breakdown, countdown type situation. Not a countdown actually, FYI. I won't be showing these decks in any like particular order. I like all of them, which is why they're here in the top 10. I say Oracle, but I will also be sharing Lenormand decks in this top 10. I mean, technically Lenormand is an Oracle, as is Tarot, a type of Oracle. I think we tend to say Oracle when we mean, you know, a deck that kind of does its own thing and either does or does not have a system, but it's kind of its own unique thing. It exists on its own. And then anything else that has a system, like Tarot, Lenormand, Deste, Sibylla, anything like that, we kind of just name them by their names because they've sort of got their own system going on that has a fairly prescribed way you go about it and can learn it. So yeah, and also I although I have increased the number of Oracle decks that I do have in my collection, I still don't have that many compared to some folks, and I would like to keep building my Oracle deck collection because I have very much gotten into working with them a lot more over the last 2 years especially. And again, the Lenormand, I don't know if I have enough to sort of warrant doing a top 10 just of Lenormand. Again, I would like to increase my Lenormand collection because I've very much fallen in love with Lenormand over the last few years, and yeah, it's like a regular part of my practice. So I'm just gonna have a sip of tea. So some of these decks I had already in my collection, and then two of them actually, only 2 of the Oracle decks are technically, I guess, also maybe 3 of them are new to me, my collection, and then I will have, so that's 7 Oracle decks, and then I have 3 Lenormand decks. And again, as I say, they're in no particular order. I like all of these. So I'll start with the decks that I already had in my collection that I have worked with quite a bit. Actually, all of the ones that I'm showing you that I already had in my collection, I only got last year. I got in 2023, I think, for the most part, like really at the beginning of 2023 for most of them. And one of those, or maybe did I get, so I'll show this one actually. This is the Pathfinder Oracle from Skull Garden. It's square, but it's meant to be read like as a diamond. I mean, technically I wouldn't necessarily call that a diamond. It's still a square. You just turn it on its side. For me, a diamond, you sort of squish the sides in, you know, like playing cards diamonds, but you know, it's quibble. But I do like that it is square, because sometimes I do also read it sort of just straight like this, but for the most part I do read it diagonal, up, point size down or up, you know what I mean, the way that it is intended to be read. Because what happens is these little symbols, they connect and you can get meaning from them. So you have like active, you have passive, you have positive, and you have negative. There you go. And this it's a tiny little sort of little white book essentially, and it's all in alphabetical order, so it's really easy to find things. This deck has been a really great, like, it's a really good pathfinding, it's called Pathfind, that's the name of it, path working deck. And I guess I should have realized that with it being the Pathfinder Oracle. This also is a kind of Oracle deck that pairs well with so many other decks. It's got a really distinct color palette and art style, but yeah, it just works so well with so many other decks that I have, other Oracle decks, other Tarot decks. Let's put the artwork the right way up, and it's really interesting. I mean, there's cards that I'm not massively a fan of, so I'm not massively a fan of the Cosmic Egg card, but that I'm just generally not a Cosmic Egg kind of girly, I guess. If one can be a Cosmic Egg kind of girly, I guess there are Cosmic Egg girls. Well, stop saying Cosmic Egg, I'm freaking weirding myself out. Making it weird. You know, so like, can you see how this would be really good with pathfinding? And what you can do is actually build a little path and give yourself characters to meet. This is really good, this Kismet. Items to encounter and find upon the road. So you can imagine you're going upon the road and you come across some keys. What does the key lead to? You stumble upon a cicada. Is it a dead cicada? Is it a live cicada? All this kind of things. Really, really cool. And then you have cards that are sort of either liminal spaces or seem like doorways. And it's again Kismet, because we've got these. Hang on, let me see. Here, no, that's Boulder. Hang on. No, can I find it? Let me see if I can find it. No. Okay, we've got. Oh, there it is. Whoop. Throwing it at the. Hang on, the laptop. Okay, so we have a door, which is, you know, stepping. This is a good way to sort of step into the deck when you start your pathworking. But then you have ones that are like. Kind of liminal or sort of spaces. Oh, so here we have a bridge which you could sort of cross and take you to another part of the terrain. And here we have a canyon, which is another really good one, stepping through the canyon. So really, really fun. It's a very sort of free and easy kind of oracle, although you do get meanings and you have like the positive and negative and the active and the passive. There's still sort of like, it's still very sort of nebulous, and I don't know, there's a lot of wiggle room, and it's very dreamscapey. I've described this deck before as very dreamscapey, I feel like it's, although it has the creator has tarot decks and Lenormand decks and other oracle decks. I have all of his work. I have all of his decks. I love his work. The wooden tarot would be the sort of the tarot deck that the sister deck to this, I guess. But I don't feel like this deck works that well with the wooden tarot in my experience, because this is very much a very particular kind of landscape. It's a very arid desert type landscape, and I feel that actually the tarot deck that I have in my collection that works the best with it so far, that looks the best with it and kind of has the same dreamscape vibe, is the Tarot of the Sweet Twilight, which was very kindly gifted to me by Imogen over at Sapling Tarot. So that's one deck. Another deck, this is a deck I believe I got last year. This is the Embodied Witch Tarot Oracle by Laura Tempest Zakroff. I also have the Liminal Spirits Oracle, which I wanted to work with more this year, I believe, because I think I kept picking this one over it, and I did work with it more this year, but I still did pick this one up more. I just feel like, I don't know, I feel like this goes with more of my decks, and I just think I jive with it more. So this is a really cool deck. It's based on the Embodied Witch book that Laura wrote. I have not read that, or the Liminal Spirit book that Laura wrote, that the other tarot, I keep calling them tarot decks, tarot on the brain, the other oracle deck is based on. I believe she has a, oh my god, I do actually remember, she has a sigil deck coming out based around the Sigil Witchery book, and I'm super excited because that book is really great and these decks are really great, and I would just really like to expand my Laura Tempest Zakroff deck and book collection slash reading, because yeah, I really enjoy what Laura puts out. So this is, yeah, it has suits based around different realms of witchy life. So here, I'm so bad at remembering what the different the different realms are. So where is it? So you've got, it will say here, so this is the group is body being, okay, so it's like the body. We have the next one, we have like the group of magical artifacts. We have the group of lunar and solar events. So it's kind of, oh, here we have the group of senses. So here we have perception as the card, and it's really, really cool because you get a description of the card, you get things to consider for the card, and then you get like keywords, and then you get a diagnosis. Really, really cool, right? It's like a little, it's just, I really enjoy oracle decks that have a certain kind of structures to them, or thinking about them, and that when they have really good guidebooks, and you don't always need that. I'm going to be showing some decks that don't have that, but I still really love. But I think that's why I struggled so much with oracle decks to begin with, is because I'd been reading tarot for so long, and I'd only ever had, the only oracle deck that I had was the Brian Froud Fairies Oracle. I'd had that for, goodness, a really long time before I ever got like another oracle deck, like at least, I don't know, maybe 15 years before I even got another oracle deck, because a lot of them just felt very amorphous. I say that this one is, the one that I've just showed you is amorphous, but it's got substance to it, if you know what I mean. Amorphous is fine if there's substance still there, but I mean, maybe amorphous isn't the word that I'm looking for. They felt like they didn't have any grounding. There was nothing sort of pinning them down. There was no system. There was, the guidebooks were very wishy-washy, and also a lot of them, it was just like a really cheesy picture. And I always make the joke of like a fairy giving a unicorn a bath at like a waterfall or something, and then there's like the word, there'll be like a word, and it's like majestic, and I'm like, what am I doing with that? I don't know. So for me, I was always like, but I think oracle decks have actually come a long way. There have been oracle decks. No, tell a lie. I've just remembered something. My memory is so bad. I did have these oracle animal cards that I can't remember what it's called, but I know that Tegan at Cosmic Creeper has this oracle deck, and it's one of her oldest oracle decks as well. I did have that. I got that in the mid 2000s, but I felt it didn't really drive with me, and so I ended up giving it to a charity shop or something. That's the only other oracle deck, but I did, because I didn't really use it. I guess it didn't really stick in my head. It's now incidentally a deck that I'd probably be interested in looking at again. I can't remember what it's called. But yeah, it's like a really old deck. There's loads of decks that have been around that do, oracle decks that have been around that do have like a system to them, but I feel like it's gotten better. Anyway, so this is one of those decks that goes great with loads of, this is obviously one of the sense cards, again being smell. And I just love it. Oh, I love this like spooky, creepy witch heart. This one, like, this really puts me in mind of the wooden tarot, aforementioned wooden tarot. Yeah, really, really cool. Trying to, at least my camera seems to be I think there's one that's like rituals. I think this might be rituals or spells. My brain just cannot retain information at the moment. It's just stressing me the hell out, honestly. Right, so that's the second one. We're like 13 minutes in and I've shown two decks. Great, it's going about as well as it usually does. Strap in. Keep your arms and your legs inside the vehicle. Boop, boop, boop. Just don't mind me, just putting this back in the box while I took them out of the box before I started filming, because I was like, I don't want people having to sit there watching me faff getting it out of the box, and then somehow made the decision to like make you sit there and while I put them back in. I will stop doing that. That's really silly. I am just as silly. You're probably thinking, tell me something I don't know. Or maybe this is the first video of mine you've watched and you don't know that I'm a silly, in which case, welcome, I am a silly. More often than not. That's alright. I know when to take things seriously. That's the important thing in life. Right, okay. The next one, oh, it just gives me croute aggression. That sounds like when you see croutons and you just want to go, and you can't wait to eat them. Not croute aggression, cute aggression. Now I want croutons. Damn it. This is Thistledown from Three Trees Tarot. I have the slightly less vibrant prototype deck that I kept for myself, and I did gift the official like proper printing to a very dear friend of mine who had fallen head over in heels with this deck when I was sharing it on my Instagram account, and she was like, oh my god, what is that deck, and blah blah blah. And I was going up to visit her for the first time last year, and I hadn't seen her in like 3 years, and she's one of my like sweetest, dearest friends, and I just knew I had to give it to her. It just felt right. And where she lives in Scotland is surrounded by all these kind of beautiful like woodlands and greenery, and they have their houses set on a certain amount of grounds, and it's stunning. And so you see all these lovely animals like bats and deer and all sorts, and so it felt like appropriate to give that to her. I did keep my official copy of the Heartwood though, and gifted her the whatchamacallit, a prototype this year, because yeah, I don't mind having 2 copies of decks. It's really really nice, but if I can gift a bit of joy onto someone, then I will. Anyway, just waffle, totally just sort of the side quest. You know me. Again, I keep saying you know me as if you do know me. I'm just making assumptions, and you know what they say about assuming. This card, Haven. This deck, it really gave me something that I needed last year, especially through sort of the autumn and the winter. It's just really, I don't know, there's just something really, before that that focused properly, I read that as making sauce. Making space. It's a stunning deck. The artwork's gorgeous. The artwork is by Adam Ohlers, who's an illustrator, and then it's designed by Stephanie at and then together they make Three Trees Tarot. They do have a new tarot deck come in the works. They don't know when it will be out, called The Winding, and it's going to be just black and white ink work. And my god, some of the sneak peeks that we've had, I'm already obsessed. Excuse me, sorry. But yeah, what I really like about this is one of those decks where I say that there's an image and you have like a keyword, but there's no system to this deck. You do get a couple of cards with some little keywords on it, and then there is a PDF of a guidebook that goes more into depth for each card. I still haven't printed that out because I don't have a printer. I really should sort that out and try and get it printed off, because every time I work with this deck and I want to sort of look at the actual card meanings, I have to make sure my laptop is switched on and that I can like access it. So there is more information if you want it, but there's no like system. But I feel like between this as a jumping off point and having that, it's still open enough like to sort of be, it's like it has an intuitiveness to it. It's really it's a real hug in a deck. It's very the prompts, the words, the names of the cards. I mean, just look at this artwork. It just, I can't even explain it, which is not great when I'm trying to explain why I like something. PMS brain, my god. That's a lovely wintry scene, isn't it, of this owl? Contentment. And I actually made a video where I use certain decks as spread machines, as using them to create spreads. And one of the decks that I use is this, because the keywords on each card are so good, really useful for creating spread positions. And I show 2 ways of doing it, using Oracle decks to do that. I'll try to remember to link that below, because it's a bit of a show me how you practice, right? That's one of the ones I keep these ones in that don't have the titles. I just keep them in because why not? Oh, this little, I just cannot look at this little mouse. Patience. Look with the little hands, like, it's gonna make me cry. Like, it's so cute. But yeah, this deck has been, again, one of those that I've just gone to when I need a little like And the great thing about it is it's not all like love and light, la 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 la. There's more shadow aspects in here as well. Let me see if I can find like a more they have like quite neutral cards, like decision, for example. There's one here, there's guardedness, which I guess is kind of looking at, come on camera, it was doing so well before. There we go. See that little dragon hiding under there? We've got, let's find another one that's, this one's a little, and this is interesting, we have control, and we have this fox like tearing the stars out of the firmament. Come on. I don't know if you can see, but there's this little stars on strings, and the fox has torn one down. Let me see. There's come on. Oh, I love, this is my favourite in the whole deck, Ferocity, and it's this wolf cub howling its little heart out. Oh, oh. But yeah, there's a real mix. Anyway, I'm belabouring the point as I am one to do. So that's that one. The next one, well, let's go to something a bit different. This one would have been on and off my wish list for donkeys, and so sorry, I should donkeys years. Sorry. I should clarify that for people who don't know what I'm talking about. For a really long time, and then a friend of mine, my friend again, aforementioned T at Cosmic Creeper, was destashing, was getting rid of some decks in her collection, and I was like, oh, I want that one, I'll buy that one off you, and she was like, I'll just give it to you. I did make her a pouch in exchange because I'm terrible at accepting gifts. And also I like that like exchange of energy with people, and I like to make things for people, and I like, you know, anyway, and for my friends. So yeah, it's the Halloween Oracle. It's a mass market deck. Stacey DeMarco. It's been out for bloody ages. It's been out for donkeys. And it's by Blue Angel. And I know lots of people don't like the back because they feel like it's really sort of incongruous with the front, like with the card artwork itself. I tend to agree it's incongruous, but I still kind of really love it because it's like really spoopy. This is spooky, this is spoopy. I'm okay with it, I don't mind. It's very glossy and it's quite big. I edged mine in black to sort of bond with it. I got this, I think it was in April or May, and I sort of sporadically, I hope not sporadically, worked with it throughout, and then obviously September, October came around, and then it was like this one, it really had its moment. I'll show you some cards, right? Hey, bloody hell, get on with it. Show some cards. We have Ghost. So we have like a title, and then we have like a keyword, and the guidebook's pretty good. It's quite interesting. I will say, like when I was trying to use this for daily draws, sometimes it was a bit like, oh no. And it made me think of the Earthbound Oracle for daily draw. Not always the best deck for daily draws. It can really like be a little bit of a bummer sometimes. The Lamp, Remembrance. But yeah, I really like this deck. I love that it's Halloween. I mean, anyone that knows me knows that I'm a spooky bitch all year round. And it's extra special to me because my friend T gave it to me. So that just makes it feel even more special. Like I just love it even more because I really like T. If you don't know her, go check out her channel. She is awesome. Come on. Love is love is love, and it transcends physical death. Black Cat. Fortune meets opportunity. Come on, camera, don't be a bellend. Why does it sometimes want to weird? So yeah, we got Cauldron. Like there's loads of good stuff. There's several like skull cards in, which I know some people like don't like about it because it feels repetitive, but I actually don't mind it. I just, here's this, hang on, here's a couple of the skulls. We've got a couple of skulls there, but they all have like a different. I really love this crystal ball, and it really reminds me of the crystal ball emoji because it's purple. I want a crystal ball. My dad has my granddad's crystal ball. Oh yes. But my dad's like, yeah, you can't have it till I pop my clogs. So I'm like, I could be waiting like at least another 20 years before I get that crystal ball. I'm not that I'm like rushed, like, don't get it twisted. I'm not like hoping that he pops his clogs just so I can get the crystal ball, the heirloom, the family crystal ball. I can't believe we have a family crystal ball. How cool is that? I probably would have got my own one by then, but they're so expensive, and I don't want like a really like a too smaller one. I guess it's something I'd have to save up for, and then I'd have to find like an ethically sourced like second. I wouldn't want to give it. I wouldn't want to buy a new one. I would want to buy like a second-hand one. And I don't actually. I actually want one that has the. Is it called occlusions, where it has like things inside it? Because I know a lot of people want like a completely clear crystal ball because it like looks pretty, but some of the people that I know that do like scry with crystal balls, some of them enjoy the occlusions because, I hope I'm getting that right, helps them sort of zone in when you're scrying. And like, I don't know how many of you have like done scrying, but I find like using like candles for scrying for me is really good because you've got the flame to like focus on and the way that it's moving. So having something that isn't, I guess though with black mirror scrying though, having a completely smooth glossy black mirror is better. I think it just depends on the scrying method, I guess. But for me, I think I would quite like a murky occlusion-esque crystal ball. One day. It's not a priority because your girl's got to pay bills before anything else. Oh, that tea's on the turn. I've got to be careful. Right, next one. Let's go with something that is oh, so this was a new to me, so that was a new to me deck. I said originally I was gonna like go with all of the decks that I had already had in my collection, but never mind, I'm just going, it's just happening, whatever, I'm just grabbing whatever. Okay, so another one, a deck that was new to me this year, at the beginning of this year, and this one was very much inspired, I think it was Julie over at Peekaboo Rose, is the Oracle of the Roses, because I needed something. It was actually, I bought it to go with the Taroki by Mr. Freeborg, which was one of those decks that were just so close to making it into my top 10 like decks of 2024, and part of me like feels like maybe I should have put it in, but I think, was it in last year's? It's such a beautiful deck. Check out his work. I really want his mermaid deck. His stuff is so gorgeous, just everything he puts out. I think he's a really talented artist, and not only that, he's very funny, he gives good Instagram, and he's really lovely. I love him to bits. He's awesome. Jens, if you're watching, love you, babe. But yeah, it's got suits. It's got 3 different suits. There are a couple of repeats with regards to the titles, which I don't understand, but they're in different, actually I say they're in different suits. Some of them are in the same suit, but you have like, where's the book? I've got the book here. So you have like wild roses, and you have like the wild roses. You then have like the old garden roses and then modern garden roses, and it talks a lot about, you know, you get the oracle, you get the title, you get what the rose is, you also get the Latin name, which is quite cool, you get the oracle meaning, and then you get it says here ethnobotanical archetype exploration. So for here, the mother, it says, which is the name of the card, and it's the old blush rose, and it says describe what unconditional love means to you. So you get like a prompt to explore should you so wish, and I am like a massive fan of a prompt. I love me a prompt. We've got some botanical notes which explain sort of the history of this particular type of rose, and then you get like plant energies. You get meanings and uses, the deities that are linked to it. I'm less sort of interested in that, and then you get an astrological sign. Again, I'm not super into astrology at all, really. So, but I know that other people really get a lot out of that. So it's, again, it's like it's a small book, but it like packs quite a punch. I'm still confused by the repeat cards, like having some of the same names. It just sort of irritates me a little bit, but you know, is it the alchemist? I can never remember off the top of my head, but yeah. And I actually asked Jules, I was like, do you know why there's like repeat cards, like have you worked it out? She's like, I hadn't even noticed. Oh, Jules, I love you so much. But yeah, I still I really like this for just like a little mass market. I think I got it also. It was like on offer as well. So I was like, well, I've been eyeing this one up. I just watched Jules's video about it, or I was trying to find videos on it to just sort of see whether I did want it, and it actually works pretty nicely with the Taroki by Mr. Freeborg. So it's sort of a win-win. Okay, I've got 2 more Oracle decks to show you. So the first one, Monica Badarsky. I love everything that woman puts out. Although I don't have her Awakened Tarot or Awakened Tarot, one that I would like. But it's the Between the Worlds Oracle. I got this 2 Christmases ago. I got it just after Christmas 2022. Between Christmas and New Year's 2022, and I fell hard for it. I fell so hard for this deck. I love the art. I just love Monica Badarsky's artwork for a start. I love that these are all pieces from her Curio Charm and Bone collection that she does sortilage with, or casting. I have my own casting set that I've built up over the last couple of years, 2-3 years, no, longer than that, but it's really, I really made a concerted effort to expand it in the last 2 years. It's so much fun. Actually, Tom Benjamin really got into casting curios this year as well, towards the end of last year, beginning of this year, and has some interesting videos. Should you want to check them out, I highly recommend. I mean, he's done more than me. Like, he's read books and done courses on it, I think. I haven't read any books on it. I just go by, like, stuff I like and my gut. I would like to read about it, full stop. But yeah, these are all based on items that Monica has in her collection. She has hundreds, if not thousands, of items, and she picked some of her favourites and she painted them. And then what I really, really like about this is, again, the guidebook. Monica Badarsky's guidebooks, chef's kiss every single time. And you know, when I said I love a tarot prompt, a journal prompt, well, she spoils you with prompts in her books. So let's give an example. Oh my god, that's so funny. I just opened it directly to this, and the card that's on top is meow. It is weird. So here we go. I'll just show you. That is so funny. Cards are so uncanny like that. So we've got the skull card 7. So you get ancestral agreement, ancestral cautioning. Oh, I will say I saw a really great modification that Krista, the lovely Krista at Krista Chronicles, did to her copy, where she stamped keywords onto it, and I was like, oh, it looked so profesh. I was like, did yours come like this? And she's like, no, I did it myself. I was like, oh, I love this. I'm like sorely tempted. Do I do that? It's really cool, Krista, if you're watching. I really, really just was impressed. It's great. So we've got ancestral agreement, ancestral cautioning, the castings. Then we get like a little story about how the particular piece came into Monica's life, or a little story. Sorry, there's this little story about like the fits around the meaning of the card, and then I think there's a bit, here we go, and then the item, sorry, I'm getting confused, the item bit talks about how it came into her life, although sometimes I'm getting mixed up because there are stories where she mentions the item, I think, and so it's a story, sort of a bit about that item, or the iconography of the symbolism of the item. We have a message, we have an upright and reversed advice. I'm not always a fan of what she writes in there. Some of it's a bit assumptive, or it's a bit too sort of bold and grand and sweeping for like day-to-day stuff. It could be a bit like, whoa, that's a lot, or it's a very sort of, you are currently dealing with this, and it's like, am I? Like, it's very sort of definitive, I think, maybe sometimes, but you know, I won't hold that against her because she does a great work. And then we've got reflections, right? Look at all these fucking prompts up the wazoo. You want journal prompts? She's always got them. She will always give you like at least 3 journal prompts in for every single mother fluffing card in every deck, right? So like her tarot deck, she doesn't just give you journal prompts for the major arcana. No, every single sodding card gets, and not just one journal prompt, you get a whole host of them. I don't even know how she comes up with so many journal prompts. Same with this one, same with her Shadowland Lenormand, Shadowland Tarot. I'm assuming the Awakened Tarot is the same. Although again, what did I say earlier about making assumptions? Okay, anyway, that's me fangirling all over Monica Badersky. That sounded a bit gross, didn't it? Fangirling all over you. I need to finish this because it's going to be great. I'm just going to pause because you don't have to watch me drink this. It was really on the turn. It was just going to, if I left it any longer, it was going to be nasty. Okay, right. The final Oracle deck that I'm going to show you, what were we, 35 minutes in? Oh well, in for a penny, in for a pound, is, I just, because it's so cute, the tin, the pocket archetypes. This deck, when did I get this? Spring, maybe? I want to say spring. Now I have the full size. I love the full size, but can I shuffle that thing? The answer is not very well, and I think most people agree with me. This though, although a little more tricksy at the moment, but way more manageable, way easier to do larger spreads with. I don't really do large spreads with it, but should you wish to, the smaller size does sort of give you that option. And it's just so cute because like small stuff is better when because it's just cute, and there's that cute aggression again. The book, however, like it's not so bad now because your girl's got new old reading glasses. I say that because these, if anyone's been watching for a really long time, these were the specs that I was wearing when I first started my channel, and then in 2018 I got the black small square framed pair. When I went and got my eyes tested finally a couple of months ago, last month, I asked if they would reglaze my new prescription into these ones because I love these so much. They're just a bit more, you know, zhuzhy. I do also kind of have, I do have my other ones. The prescription's not right. I do have them right here. Like these are more like, I don't know, they're a bit more neutral. I do like them, but these are so much more like me. I missed them. Also, my face is very round. Your girl needs like angles. So anyway, side quest. I love the, again, talking of like decks that go with so many other decks, this deck does. This is one of those, oh, I meant to say actually, sorry, how do I work with this deck? This deck, I don't really like it for a daily draw, but a talisman for the week ahead. Chef's hiss. That's the food sizzling in the pan, the chef's hiss. Yeah, that's how I ended up working with it, because I was trying it for a card a day and it was not, I'm like, I'm not, how do I work with this? And then like a talisman seemed to be, that's how I work with it. And I've spoken about that, I think, maybe in show me how you practice, or just working with Oracle decks video, I don't know, from the spring summer. But yeah, and this one as well, this is one of those where it goes so well with so many of the decks I have in my collection, and it's really vibrant. It's obviously tons and tons of archetypes. It's one of those really meaty decks that you can get a lot out of. You can just sort of read the book and take it on a surface level, but if you want to like go hardcore deep down with these, you can. There we go, finally. I know this is a very sort of Marmite with the artwork. It's a mixture of sort of line work, pen work, like you're quite familiar with if you're familiar with the Wild Unknown, with a mixture of sort of watercolor. So this is a really good example. But then there's also collage. So here we have, and I'm pretty sure it's analog collage. Here, so here we have so we have like a candle, a collage, piece of collage. You can even, if you, I don't know if it will show here on the camera, but if you look at this card in person, you can see the actual cut out piece of paper, that the candle, and then the painting and the line. I just really dig this kind of, you know, and I know it's not everyone's cup of tea, which is obviously totally cool. I've never been a fan of the low res diamond back. I don't know, I feel like it should be sharper. It looks like a really bad photocopy. I guess maybe it's just in keeping with that like lo-fi like analog collage feel, maybe, I don't know. Now because I said I have the large size version of this, I do, well that was me saying anyway, I can read this better now that I have these, was the short thing. Would have been quicker than the little side quest I went on, but I will. I do have so this is the one that I actually use. Oh, I've got one of my cards that I had more recently with the little Three Trees Tarot little thank you note as I use as bookmark. Sustainer was one of the cards that I had more recently. So I find that it's great that I can use the large size deck. I can read the book a bit easier, a lot easier, but the large size deck, if I'm pulling, I tend to work with one card at a time. I know there's ways that you can do like strings of cards and 3 cards and what have you, there's spreads in here, but I find them quite overwhelming. I think if I eventually manage to work with every archetype in this deck, which would take fucking ages, because you need to give each of these cards a bit of time, I feel. The shortest amount of time I've ever worked with one of these cards is a week. I don't feel like I can do any less than that. Honestly, really, like 2 weeks would be my more advice would be better. And if you wanted to go for a month and just see any, what I like to do is basically put the large version on like propped up on my desk so that I can see it if it's the card for the week or what have you. And what I like to see is, especially if I keep it up for a month, is seeing how it interacts with any other card draws that I do throughout that month, which I'd also do if I pull like a card for the month from a different deck. And the same with this, like, you know, if I've got a talisman for the week, if I'm pulling cards throughout the week, I like, does anyone else do that, right? Like, it makes sense to see how it relates to other cards that you've got going on that arch over that time span. Anyway, so yeah, I like having both. I wouldn't get rid of the large size version simply because I do find it useful, but this is the one that I actually like shuffle with, and it's one of those decks that I fidget with if I'm playing like an online tabletop role-playing game, which I'll be doing this evening. We're continuing our Call of Cthulhu game where I'm playing a charlatan medium called Lilith Ravenwood from Dublin, and she is quite the character. I'm looking forward to stepping back into her shoes this evening. But yeah, I really like this deck, so that's that. Well, how long? 42 minutes. Right, okay. Lenormand. Sorry, if anyone's listening on earphones, that would have been horrendous. I apologise. Okay, so one of these Lenormand decks was new to me this year, and 2 of them I'd already had. I realised that none of the Oracle decks that I've shared are actually new Oracle decks. They are all Oracle decks that have been around for a while. I mean, this is new in the sense that it's a new size, it's a mini size, but this deck had been out since 2020, so it wasn't really new, just that it's Wii. They've done a Wii version. I want Wii versions of every deck almost, because I just although I saw the like Wii version of the Deviant Moon Tarot, which I was so excited for years. I kept saying I want to see a Deviant Moon Tarot, and because it's US games, I was fully expecting, you know, US games with the tins. Like, I love the tins, and you know, other publishers, who's this Harper One, their little chunky monkey tins, and so I was like, oh man, it's gonna be so cool to see a Deviant Moon Tarot in a tin. And I was like, they'll have to do a custom tin, because the Deviant Moon Tarot is kind of a little more slender and a little longer than, say, like their standard Smith-Waite Centennial, for example. But no, as far as I can see, it's in a tuck box, and I'm like, disappoint. Because I do like my tarots in a tin. If I trim them, I make a pouch for them. But if I don't trim them, I just keep them in the tin, like my beloved Morgan Greer in a tin. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. I'm sidetracking myself. Again, stay on point. Okay, so I'm going to show you the one that was new to me. This was from my spouse. My spouse had gifted this to me. It was part of one of my birthday presents, I believe, back in January. It's the Gilded Reverie Lenormand. It's one of those, like, this is my only Ciro Marchetti deck. Now, I'm not necessarily like a super fan of his artwork. It's just personal preference. I know loads of people that love his work. If you love his work, that's absolutely cool with me. It's just never really been my jam. However, I kept seeing this bloody deck about and on videos, and it just kept popping up, and it's a bit like, no, a lot like the Tarot Illuminati by Eric C. Dunn, which is like that visual vomit, overly gilded, everything including the kitchen sink, hella cuckoo banana pants deck, tarot deck, but somehow it lured me in and got its tendrils around me, and I like fell in love with it, like against my will. It's like it bewitched me. This bewitched me. Like, I've never been a fan of Chiro's work, and yet, and it's kind of cheesy. I mean, it's a lot cheesy, but I really love it. And it's one of those Lenormand decks because it works really nicely with a lot of other decks. This with the Tarot Illuminati, oh boy, put your sunglasses on. It's so extra. I mean, this is the Rider card. It's very cis het skinny white, you know, like, I think that's why I also resisted it, because I'm always seeking decks where I see myself, my family, my friends, my community, the world that I see around me, my immediate vicinity, my community, being a Londoner in the East End of London, which is famously known for being a really diverse, mixed, like, just everyone rubbing shoulders together, just a real, I'm not saying it's perfect, it's not perfect, but I mean, for the most part, the particular area that I live is known for being, basically, in the summer, a bunch of fascists threatened to come visit our local area, and thousands upon thousands of us walked out to meet them. I mean, there were police helicopters about. It made the news, and we were like, they're bold to come and try and make it to our area, because our area is renowned for being such a mixed and diverse place that will not brook any nonsense when it comes to that shit. And they didn't even turn up. It was a real, and the police were like, the police put a thing out to the community saying, please stay home because it's dangerous, and everyone ignored them. And yeah, it was a great turnout. Anyway, so that was a real ramble, but yeah, so that's went on a real side quest there. Basically, I just love where I live. It's just really, it makes me happy. And yeah, that was it. I like to see decks, but this doesn't show that, but I still enjoy it, as well. Saying I can acknowledge that it is not diverse, and some things can be problematic, but as long as you're aware of that, I don't know. Anyway, the next Lenormand is, I'm going to show you, the next one is the Lilac Lenormand. This is by the lovely Logan over at Lark and Legend. Hello Logan, love you. Oh, this little guidebook just really packs a wallet. Again, I'm always so impressed by people that will put out like a really small book, but it's so like succinct and concise, and it will just get straight to the point. I really enjoy that Logan also gives their explanation of why they've chosen a particular way of portraying the card. It's really cute. The box, little magnetic box, the whole production quality, the linen cardstock, everything, the little lilac, like matte, dusty lilac sides, everything about it is scrumptious. Scrumptious. I mean, this just makes me so happy. Even though I'm an original Game Boy girl, although I'm saying that, I did charge up my Game Boy. Where is it? Where did I put it? It's probably over there. My Game Boy. Is it Game Boy Advance? What's it called? Oh my god, hang on. It's going to bug me. Okay, I remembered as I was picking up. Okay, it's the Nintendo. I have the DS Lite. This is the most recent. I think I got this in like 2006, 2007. 2006 Nintendo. So yeah, maybe 2007. I got this. It was one of my Christmas presents that year. But I started on the original Game Boy. So this one was after. I didn't have one of these ones. Was this the Game Boy Advance? I would love a Switch, but I know what I'm like. What have I got in there at the moment? I've got my Mario Super Brother. Because I'm a Mario girl through and through. I do have Zelda in here. What one have I got? Ooh, I've got Sonic the Hedgehog, I've got Zelda and the Phantom Hourglass, Mario Kart DS. I don't know what happened to my Tetris. I am going to have to rebuy it. I don't know what happened to that. Anyway, I'm distracting myself again. But yeah, I have to play. I tried playing this other day, And I realised I was in agony the night before. I played it in the evening before bed. Not a great idea, I guess, to help you relax playing Mario Brothers. And then I woke up in the morning and my elbow was even more sore, and I was like, oh, it's the same as doing like sewing and all the small movements of sewing or making the little bookmark charm things and stuff, ribbon bookmarks. It's all these like little fiddly movements are aggravating it. So I realised I can't actually play this until my elbow's better. Wow, get on with it. Okay, so yeah, this just really cute. Lots of sort of game references, lots of anime references. I love that the book is a grimoire. It's just really, really fun. It's really, really clear. It's really, really easy to, you can very easily pick out what you're looking at if you're doing a larger spread. I don't often do a, what do you call it? Oh my God, grand tableau, because I just don't think I'm very good at them, and I find them a bit overwhelming. But so I know I mostly do 9 card 3x3 box spread or portrait spread, and I know that when you're doing a grand tableau you can break it down by looking at it in those like sets of 9, but I don't know, I just sort of, my brain just goes ah. So this is something I need to get better at. Someone who is very good at grand tableaus, and he's very good at Lenormand just generally, or just cartomancy generally, and I just really love her to bits, is Krista over at Aunty K's Tarot. So my other favourite Lenormand is the Brown Witch Lenny. If anyone saw me loving on this deck, I got this September last year, and then I got the official copy in January. Krista very kindly sent me an official copy. This book, I love the book so much. I love the way that Krista explains the, you know, here's an example. Traditionally, the face cards where you have child, but you've got, oh no, hang on, that's not the one. Is that the one? You know, hang on. Where is it? Where is it? No, it's not that one. Where is it? Let me find one. The ones that have the courts in, sorry. Oh, here we go. Well, I guess they are. Yeah, hang on. Meow. Meow, meow, meow. Oh yeah, they are. Yeah, it's court cards. Oh my God, my brain. So yeah, the way that the court cards, there's information where you can read them as people more, and it's just a really interesting take on the Lenormand that I hadn't seen before, and I really enjoy that. And I do like that Krista gives you examples, reading examples, if you're like super new. Yeah. Again, Krista, Aunty K's Tarot. So this is a witchy book. It features people of the global majority. A witchy book? A witchy deck? What am I saying? How can I has words? Garden. I have the dog because I love doggies. Cats are cool too, but I'm predominantly a dog girl. I have my own doggy woggy that I love very much. The rider, they're just all witches. They all have witches hats on. They have the stripy stockings or fishnet. They're like they're just fun. Let's see some of my favorites. I love that the vultures for birds. I mean, come on. Oh, hang on, let's see. There's like a guy for the lilies. I just love him. I mention him all the time because I just love him. I love this snake card. And she's wearing green and black. I mean, green and purple are my 2 favourite like colours. And then, you know, and actually I will say that both of these Lenormand decks are queer friendly in the sense that you have ungendered querent and like querent and other, significant other, what's the word I'm looking for, subject cards. So you have seeker, and then I think it's desire. I can never. Oh, here's the guy from the lilies. I love him. I love him. I want to be his friend. I just love it. I just love it. It makes me happy. And I don't know. I just fell for it. So yeah, that's all of the decks. Wow, nearly an hour. Goodness me, if you made it this far, well done. I might try and I might, if I have the spoons, I might edit this down, because actually I should show you the other for this one, for the lilac. So here we go. We have players 1, 2, 3 and 4, and they're all like the switch, the little things that go on the Nintendo Switch at the end. I don't know what you'd call them. I don't have a Switch. And they're all the seasonal ones. You have like spring, summer, autumn, winter. But I like that you have the option to, it's ungendered, which I think is important, because firstly, you're not always reading, you know, if you're a cis woman, or like even if you're a cis woman and you go to someone for a Lenormand reading, or you're doing a Lenormand reading for yourself, I'm just giving an example as myself as a cis woman. If I'm doing a Lenormand reading, my Lenormand reading for if I'm asking about another person, isn't necessarily going to be someone of the opposite gender, whether they're cis or trans, or, you know, it might be I'm looking at a situation where I'm looking at another woman, cis or trans, you know, it doesn't matter. And but I like that we have the ungendered. It just makes it more neutral. As someone who, you know, has a lot of trans, non-binary, polyamorous people in my life, it's relevant for me to be able to have decks like this. And I know lots of people are like, oh, it's so like, oh, you don't need it, just or use different cards as significators. And I'm like, no, just give us the extra cards and make them ungendered. Like, why are you? I don't know, I think it's because people, if it's not their lived experience, then they don't necessarily. But I don't understand, like, people are not very good at putting themselves in other people's shoes. I think people just sort of get stuck in their own ways. I don't know. Anyway, this is a waffle. I'm going to go. But yeah, that's my top 10 Oracle / Lenormand decks of 2024. What was your favourite that I shared out of mine? What are your favourite Oracle and or Lenormand decks of 2024? Let me know in the comments down below. So thank you so much for spending this hour-ish with me waffling on. I hope that you enjoyed it. I enjoyed filming it. It was I went on some side quests. Again, I don't know if I'll edit those out if I can. But some people say they like the side quests, so I don't know. Some people hate them, some people like them. You can't please everyone, right? But yeah, I hope that wherever you are watching this, that you are safe and you are well. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.